Hello everyone and welcome back to the Metroid Prime Randomizer Tournament. I am your host RoboScout and with me I have...
Hello, I am Schwartz. I will also be co-commentating this race for you.
Yep, and today we have a very exciting race between BajaBlood and Tubamann. Looks to be still in the just setup phase right now, though we just did get Tubamann stream ins, but should be starting up soon.
Yep. This is a very interesting matchup. Both of these competitors have been I don't know how to say it, but they have been in the racing for Prime Rando for quite a while. They have both been in, I believe, both the 2019 and 2021 Prime tournaments. So they are quite used to logic at this point, and so should be not a bad race today.
What could possibly go wrong?
Who knows? Do you have any very funny locations you'd like to see in this race?
You know, I'm really hoping we can start the Bombs on Thardas counter back up.
That is always really funny. I've only ever had that like twice, and it has completely thrown me off both times.
Yeah. Yeah, I know in the 2021 tournament, we had an actual counter because it kept happening. The seeds that year were just legendary.
Oh, really? Baja was only in the 2021 race. Interesting. Well, he has certainly come a long way since then. He is a really good random player. I don't know if you know this. Quite well accomplished.
I mean, only seeded very high up.
Yeah, it's not like he's. I actually hold up while I double check his seed. Is seeded 11th out of 39, that is quite impressive for echelons. All right, and the race time room says that they're starting. It should be starting the stream momentarily.
Yep. As usual, stream delay mean. Oh, we do at least have the countdown going on Baja's timer. So, there's a thing. Our seed hash is Gelzap Frigate Temple. That's very ominous.
Perhaps progression frigate for once. We haven't really seen much required frigates in the few past races.
There's always time for change.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Will they both get space jump first try? Got 1 and 2. Nice.
Yeah. Very clean. And let's see, what is in Alcove? Looks like a missile. Only time we're going to be happy about seeing a missile.
Yep.
And it was missile launcher too, so that was the logical missiles. The seed did intend them to get that missiles first. Looks like just a missile underneath the ship, or underneath the alcove, the place behind the ship. Now, looks like both of our runners are going to be heading into Artifact Temple. Doing a nice short little scan dash to skip some minor walking.
Alright, any predictions for artifacts in the chat, folks? Hydro access tunnel? That's a good one. That would make the seed hash make sense.
Hat is always fun. Especially when you get like those, you get times where then people will just like cheese it with boost wall, because that's a really interesting trick to see. Just missile an Artifact Temple.
It rarely ever comes into play, but yeah, wall boosting through Hydro access tunnel is really
cool.
Cool.
Not the most common thing, but it is always a treat to see when it happens.
Especially when someone gets through it like fast. Like
under
like
Tuba's taking a look at the hints. Let's see. Oh, Storage Depot B, Research Lab Aether, Storage Cave, Triclops Pit, Fungal Hull Access, and Transport Access. Alright.
Fungal Hull Access.
Yeah, Fungal Hull Access, that's Start of lower mines. That's not great, but everything else seems pretty standard. Nothing crazy.
Okay. Honestly, not bad artifacts. Fungal Hall
Yeah, no.
Access might be out of the way, but
Yeah, Fungal Hall Axis is the worst. Is probably the worst one there, but that's nothing crazy.
it's not elite quarters.
Not elite quarters.
And honestly, I kind of prefer having bad artifacts because that I know that there's at least not real progression there. Although
That is
is to
true.
say,
You do just know you're gonna have to go through OP versus having to just question it the entire time.
yeah. Alright. Baja's opting for Transport Tunnel B before Chozo. I agree with this play.
Yeah.
And Tubamann seems to be doing the same.
Yep. Looks like Tuba took a bit more time on the artifacts, likely to write them all down. You would think, oh, you just read it, you can just remember that, but it can be surprisingly easy to forget those hints, and you can just write them down as useful.
Yeah.
Morph Ball and Transport Tunnel D, that is always useful to grab early on.
I cannot tell you how many times that I've died to Scarabs, and I had to re-grab hints because I didn't read them immediately the first time.
Yeah. Morph Ball always good to have early on. It locks out a very large amount of Chozo if you don't find it early on. So, question for Baja is, will he head into Chozo or will he head back to Frigate Crash Site? Looks like he's heading into Chozo. Of course, a Frigate Crash Site.
Honestly, yeah, I agree with this. Chozo is, Chozo, so there will definitely be a lot more just general checks, and probably we'll leave Frigate Crash Site until the save warp eventually.
No, looks like Tuba is heading and being got a minor routing divergence. Tuba is heading to Frigate Crash Site, which could end up being big if that's something important in there. And because of the way the tournament settings are set up, it is logical that they will go there.
Yes, I believe that is a beginner scan dash, or
There's quite a few ways. I think it can also be a slope jump.
not logical. Okay, so that needs base jump or grapple. And I believe that is a beginner underwater movement. Then let's see. SJ scan dash.
Just a missile.
Thank you, Jeff. Oh, what was that in half pipe? Main closet? Baja seems to want it. He attempted the roll into it.
Doesn't seem to be liking it that much because he has abandoned it.
Ooh, bombs.
Ah, bombs. Yeah, that would explain things. But yeah, doing that roll, that is quite a tricky trick. Yeah, as usual, worth noting, restream resolution not the greatest, so there can be a chance where we don't see precisely what the items look like. That is Thermal Visor.
Baja doesn't like that.
Yeah, Thermal Visor is probably the one item you don't want to see, because that puts some very unfun checks in logic, or at least helps.
Yeah. That frigate play that we were alluded to in the seed hash is slowly becoming real.
Yeah.
Just need wave beam and ice.
Ooh, super missiles on high mecha.
Fairly super suspicious.
SRS business. Launcher is actually the only missile expansion that is considered for logic. It's actually expansions that are relevant. Now, statistically, Launcher is the precise location of Launcher is almost never relevant, as there's just so many missile expansions in the game. But according to Randovania, the first missile you get will always be from Launcher.
Yeah, it logically places the launcher first, and then sometimes you'll hear people talk about missile expansions being logical. That purely only refers to Tower of Light and fighting enemies with missiles.
Yeah.
The launcher is always placed first.
Also, that looked like Boost Ball, I think, in Volt.
Ooh. I mean, we do have bombs in half pipe, so
Yeah.
that's probably implying that SJ might be a little bit deeper than normal.
Yeah, that probably means SJ has a logical access to bombs.
Oh, was that something intriguing?
I don't think so.
Restream
I saw the
resolution.
orange. I think I saw the orange of a missile, but yeah. There's a reason I keep the actual Twitch stream on a second screen. One, to read the wonderful comments from chat, and two, to just have a second chance to see what items there are. Oh, according to chat, isn't an E.
Baja gonna give this another try.
Oh,
Looks like he
looks like
is.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Almost. Some rage shots.
This is. I wouldn't say that this is as hard as people usually say, but it definitely has a lot of nuance to it.
Oh, never mind. Apparently, E was not in the tree.
It's
Alright.
understandable to not get that right away.
Yeah. Oh, and looks like Tuba is took a nice bath with the scarabs and bullying him quite a bit.
Yeah. Remember, folks, always roll through the scarabs. They do no damage in Morphle form.
Well, like technically they do like 1 or 2, but that's quite a bit different than the half a knee tank they'll do otherwise. And just a missile and tree. All right. Oh, and there we have our boots, and it looks like Baja is turning straight around.
All right. Okay, that's good.
Tuba to grab some health off the scarabs.
So if boost was in fact in vault, then that okay. So then you actually do need space jump logically for half pipe bombs, since you hard require needing bombs for vault in the first place.
Yep.
Power bomb strat is very much not logical. That is like advanced standables or something. It's hard.
Something like that. Meanwhile, with space jump, you just hold forward.
Yep. This is actually a very convenient bomb, so let some easy access to early bomb checks.
Yeah, Chozo has a lot of bomb checks early on, and you can get they can have some pretty important stuff that are decently easy to forget. Like Ruined Nursery, that has screwed me over many times. That's a power bomb expansion. Like with missiles, you that is not logically expected. Baja will not be logically expected to use it, but somehow I expect that Baja won't exactly be picky about following the logic with that expansion.
Power bombs are really powerful to have early. Just lets you access so much more.
Yeah.
Even though we already have bombs.
Yeah, there aren't too many power bomb checks in early Chozo. There's a few in Magmore though.
Yeah, it's mainly just upper fiery shores and shore tunnel that are most profitable. Usually we don't get logical access to Magma Pool until a little bit later, until we already started Magmore.
Yeah. Various suit has not been decided so far, so that is still an eventual possibility. Although it is worth noting that with only an expansion, we only have access to 1 energy tank right now, or 1 power bomb tank, and because of how Prime's drop system works, that can cause some issues if you get unlucky with drops and are far away from any rooms that have higher odds than usual granting power bomb drops.
Yeah.
Bizarrely enough, Chozo is probably the area with the highest density of higher than average power bomb drops. The Scarabs. Oh, it's Spider Ball and Volt. Oh boy, not Boost Ball.
Interesting.
Yeah, Chozo has quite a few rooms that have higher than average power bomb drops for some reason.
That is, I believe, logical Flagra from the back.
Oh, yeah, that is true. We do have logical ear Flagra access.
And just
be seeing
need
some
Spider, or we need X-Ray for logical ghosts as well. So
No, X-ray isn't required for ghosts.
that's not required, but I do. Is that for logic? Actually, that might not be.
I
Ignoring.
don't think so.
Yeah. But yeah, that makes the Flogger play a lot more enticing.
Yeah, I could see one of these runners going for reverse Flogger play because that lets you grab both the Flogger and Flogger Ghost items relatively quickly. It's still not the fastest 2 checks in the world, but it's quicker than it would be otherwise.
Okay, Tubamann's also picking up his bombs as well. He's
Yep.
going to make his way to that spider. A nothing in Watery Hollow. Cool.
Yep. Poor lost Metroid. Doesn't look like anything important in lower Dynamo. Not even gonna grab it. And that is Wave Beam in upper Dynamo.
Ooh, okay. Now, Tubamann already checked Dynamo first pass when he got Space Jump. So, is he going to go back for upper Dynamo with that spider?
Ooh, that could be big. Cause that Dynamo's a check that's very easy to put off for a while, but as we can see here, it has some very important items right here. Wave Beam locks off a lot of the game. Looks like Tuba is taking the opportunity with their newly acquired bombs to re-go through a lot of the early Chozo checks.
I think making his way to Gallery Tunnel, perhaps?
Yeah, Ruined Gallery and Ruined Nursery. Oh, and that is a suit at the top of Gathering Hall. That is a Varia.
Ooh, okay.
With that, Baja has just gained quite a few options.
I think he is thinking about following the Varia and going to Magmore.
Yeah, looks like he's taking the warp to start. Oh, never mind, just taking a save.
I mean, yeah, this is a crossroads, if any.
Oh yeah, very much so. This could be an important point of the race if one runner finds something important and the other does not.
We do have logical Thardus, you're right.
Yeah, as Draxus just points out, Thardus is in logic right now, and I'm sure all of our runners are very thrilled to know that.
Oh, is Baja going for the dash?
Oh, good for the Stanville.
This is honestly a good idea, though, to get this out of the way, because we still need grapple for this to be logical, but yeah, it's worth
Very nicely
checking
done.
before you forget.
And oh, that is Gravity Suit.
Well, that makes the frigate play a little bit more bearable.
Yeah. Still not exactly an option until we have ice, but it's approaching.
Okay.
Yep. That is.
I'd take that gravity suit, yeah.
Yeah, that could be a good play for Baja if Tuba does not end up going for Magma Pool. Because Gravity Suit is one of the 2 items that's often used to cross Magma Pool very easily. And the fact that it's locked behind it means you can't just rely on that.
Mm-hmm.
So if Grapple is somewhere cursed, we may other runners may not be seeing Gravity for a long time unless they also do a dash or standable of some kind.
Yes, doing Tower of Light. Let's go. Don't
Yep.
forget it this time. Tower of Light loves to be just like a little something that is usually required if you don't have a good routing for it. Just loves to be like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, It was a good chunk of time for a few years ago where Tower of Light could not have anything logically, so I think a lot of runners got to a trend of not checking Tower of Light because it couldn't have anything required. And, well, that's not exactly true anymore, but sometimes old habits die hard.
I like the slope jump that Baja does there. I usually just do dashes to the rim every time.
Yeah, the slope jump is nice for skipping the first dash, which I found is a lot harder than the rest of them. And that is main power bombs.
Interesting. Okay.
That is a very nice find. Even if could technically already use power bombs thanks to the expansion he found, I am sure no one will be complaining about the extra capacity.
So yeah, that definitely makes Magmore look way more appealing.
Yeah.
Because you can get like all of the beginning of Magmore in like one swoop.
Yep. Magmore definitely seems like the play right now.
You could do almost all of Magmore except geothermal core and plasma processing.
Honestly, could also go through a good chunk of near full clear Chozo as well. Let's see, will Baja take the flogger play? It looks like Tuba is finding his various suit right now. And
Okay.
no, we will not be seeing plants right now. Unfortunate, or fortunate, depending on your perspective.
That is interesting. Honestly, I don't really feel either way about doing plant right now.
Yeah.
It's time consuming, but we have like the tools to make it easy. But then again, we have Magmore, which is just infinitely more appealing.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, as much as I would like to see it, I'm always a fan of a good first seed. Flogger probably isn't the play right now from just a speed perspective. There's just so many other checks opened up right now between Magmore and Fendrana, and even late Chozo.
We see Tubamann is going to be fighting Zoid. I know only PB. What else?
Don't believe Baja did end up fighting Zoid, if I'm not correct.
He turned around with that Varia.
Yep, so if this ends up being anything interesting on Zoid, Tuba could have a major advantage from this play. But we shall see.
Artifact in Tricomp's pit again. Nice.
Yep. We knew that.
We did know that, but I forgot.
We definitely did know that, and we didn't forget. I know what you're talking about. Let's see, what is on Zoid? Just a power bomb expansion, just only power bomb expansions on Zoid. Not the worst thing to get, but probably not what Tuba was hoping for, especially when we know main power bombs is close by.
Perhaps he will take it to far Chozo? At least maybe check Furnace?
Yeah, it does look like he's checking Furnace right now. If you're going through Zoid, might as well check Furnace as well while you're here, especially since you did get Logical Spider Ball.
So nothing of entire importance in Magmore so far.
Yeah, well, aside from the artifact, but we kind of knew what that was anyway.
Although we do still have our actual PB checks to do. So I would be willing to bet that that's, if progression were to be in Magmore, be there.
Yeah, Randovania does like to chain your item acquisitions together, requiring your most recent item to get the next one. Little Metroid logic.
Mm-hmm.
Metroid in my Metroid game? I don't know what you're talking about.
As Reggie likes to say, follow the yellow line. Hey,
And
there's
that
grapple.
is Grapple Beam. That should be easy access to gravity if Baja did not already have it, but he will just have to be contented with Grapple Beam and an E for now.
Fiery Shores. Missile. Oh, is that Ice Beam in Short Tunnel?
No, it is the fastball.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Great find.
Yeah, that was nice. Ice Beam is probably the big item we're looking for on the wish list right now, as that opens up almost the entirety of the rest of the game besides lower mines, but Boost Ball is still helpful, even if just for the fact that it makes you go fast in a race.
Yeah. That makes me think that Randomizer wants that for something.
Maybe Life Growth.
Life Growth. Maybe. Perhaps we'll find Ice Beam in Fendrana.
Yeah, or maybe something in later labs, because I don't believe Observatory Skip is logical in these tournament settings.
They are not, no. That is probably...
Yeah, with how much that Dash bullies new players, I would be very surprised if it was.
Yeah. But with me being so used to it, I forget that that's not in logic and end up checking labs for no reason.
Yeah, for experienced players, you can often get into flawed mindset of just forgetting what's logical and what's not, and just getting distracted, going on escapades with fancy tricks.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. We do have boost to get into the rear side of labs, though.
Shoreline's missile looked like he peeked Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reggie, get out of here with those suggestions.
No, that'd be great. I don't know what you're talking about. That'd be some solid cursed content.
Well, you see, it would technically be good, but the problem is that players would know that that would technically be good, which makes it bad.
The mind games. You see, in reality, it's not exactly just like all the players versus each other in a tournament. It's actually just a bunch of people trapped in a room and forced to abide with whatever the tournament organizers manage to create on the seeds and torture us with. Good luck to all you just wonderful people creating very cursed content.
Oh, I missed that. Did Tubamann just do the Magma Pool Dash?
Looks like...
Back?
Yeah, he's doing it back, so
Wow.
looks like it.
Impressive. Nice job.
Yeah.
So both players will not have to worry about gravity this time.
Yeah, although, looks like most of that work was for nothing considering Grapple Beam was relatively close, but it does save them a backtrack.
Indeed. Okay, interesting. I don't know, this is probably just a routing preference, but I usually don't go through Ice Rims East this way. I usually take the scannable, like the vanilla way you enter here. I don't know how much time it saves in the long run.
I think doing the parkour is slightly faster because it means you don't have to break the missile and you can just... Oh, that looks like... That's X-Ray right there. Yeah, I generally tend to go through the top path both ways. Yeah, at least when I have space jump.
Okay. What? I didn't quite see that. That looked important. Or was that like a beam combo, I think?
I could not see. Although, no, interestingly, this has put the entirety of the tools needed to check Upper Root Cave in logic. So, that could be something important.
Flamethrower? Okay. Potentially flamethrower in Ice Rims East. So probably
most
not getting
important
that
item.
today. More than likely, Baja will not be picking that up today. Unfortunate.
will be invalid. Let's see. Doesn't look like anything in Fendrana Canyon, considering Baja is just turning around.
So, does Baja make the labs play or the Thardas play? That is the question for today. Is that the only place we can go at this point?
I mean, there could be late Chozo. There's Root Cave. That is something. Also, technically, late Magmork as a workstation could have something. But there's quite a few small pockets of checks around, scattered around, that could have items, but nothing really has the density of labs. So, to be honest, I imagine from a statistical play, Baja will probably go for that.
Yeah, and Tubamann did check some of Farchozo. He checked, I believe, Upper Furnace and Crossway, so...
Yeah. And yep, does look like Baja's going for labs. No rocks today. At least not yet. Phazon suit is still on the table.
To be honest, I think that this cutscene in Labs is the worst cutscene of the game.
Not really, what makes you think that?
It's usually just the fact that I'm in Labs and I have to do Labs, which I'm already not really happy about. But then I have to watch an unskippable cutscene about a pirate fight. Just, I don't know, irks me personally.
The real funny moment is when you do labs backward after having gotten the research core item, and then you get double the pirates. You just get... you can just get honestly trapped in the door area while it's lockable, just a bunch of shadow pirates bully you. Oh, and it looks like Tubamann is going for the Flagra play. This could be something.
I mean, yeah, this is fair enough play, in my opinion.
Yep. And Hydra just has Mezzle.
Ooh. Oh. Tubamann missed the bomb jump and landed on top of a wasp. Thanks.
Yep. Ions and War Wasp. The Wasp's just bullying Tubamann right now. War Wasps are rude. Can we all agree on that?
Screw wasps, all my homies hate wasps. Observatory is a ice beam. There it is. Okay.
Oh, what? There.
Almost Lab Hydra. Or Lab Aether. Not quite.
Yeah, that is a huge find for Baja right there. Ice Beam opens up so much of the game. Unfortunately, Tuba is still just getting bullied by the Ions and the Wasps.
I didn't even know they could get this high up.
Wasps
there we go.
are nothing if not determined to screw up your climb.
Doing
nice. Yep, doing a nice jump to avoid the trigger that triggers the pirate fight.
So at this point, we're just missing Plasma and Phazon for Go Mode, as well as... Well, I guess... Do we need anything else for our artifacts besides beams?
I don't think so. I mean, Baja's honestly got an almost clear tracker aside from beam combos, Plasma, and Phazon.
Yeah, that is true. We literally almost
so,
have everything.
There's not much left that could be a requirement, which is so far looking like a Jet Seed, and I probably just jinxed it.
So, at this point, Baja probably finishes labs, goes to Farfen, does workstation, then probably go to mines? He doesn't find
probably.
Plasma?
Yeah, Plasma and Phazon too, just the real big questions we still have here, because they could be almost anywhere.
Or we could also have someone make the frigate play with this ice beam.
That is also an option. pretty much everywhere is in logic right now. Just an E-Tank and Research Core.
Love to see it.
Baja will be grabbing it.
I mean, he's not coming back to lab, so this makes sense.
Yeah.
Camera's
Dual
peace.
turrets being rude. Turrets have crazy knockback in this game.
Yeah, we all hate turrets here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually if you're moving fast enough, they won't bother you too much unless they miss into you because the turrets don't lead their shots. But when you're trying to do something in like a relatively stationary area, like scan all the posts, the turrets can be very rude. Fortunately, I think that's just a missile on Flagra.
I think that's what it was too.
Yeah.
The missile and Frost Cave too.
Yep. We're going to be seeing a lot of those at this point because there is not much left to find.
Second Flyer playing a little nasty here.
Yeah, pirates can be surprisingly difficult to hit with Ice Beam.
Yeah, you can pretty much only hit them when they're preparing their missiles. It's quite annoying.
Yeah. Normally, it's usually better
Grapple dash! Yeah!
Grapple dash! Yeah, normally it's just better to just quick fire 3 missiles, but considering how low Baja is on missiles right now, can't blame them for trying to go for ice.
The only practical use of grapple. This is true. Okay, hopefully we don't see anything in gravity chamber. Missile.
Missile on the upper ledge.
Oh, is that something?
Looks like a missile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baja didn't seem interested in it.
Yeah.
So from here, oh, he might. Does he fight
And
Stardust or
Tuba,
go?
unfortunately, just finding double missile on plant at this point. Tuba's distractions, just escapades into the various parts of Chozo have really not paid off for him. Unfortunately, Baja does seem to have a pretty big lead at this point. Yeah, I don't imagine we'll see a Thardus play. It's just statistically there are many other checks that are equally like to have it while also requiring far less time, but you never know.
There could always be. He might at least check quarantine monitor.
Yeah,
And then
quarantine
exit.
monitor's a pretty fast check, but yeah. There is an artifact and transport access that we cannot access right now, but considering that our runners will have to head to lower mines later, and this is not such a departure from that, I don't imagine it will be such a big detour to come back later. Tubamann finally entering Magmar all this time into the run. Fortunately, they will be doing catch-up for a lot of the work they have been doing, thoroughly clearing out Chozo, which really has not played out for them. This really was a move forward fast seed.
Yeah. Which sucks because all of the plays in Chozo were relatively reasonable. Honestly,
Yep.
I probably wouldn't have done Zoid and Far Chozo without Ice Beam. But the plant play,
Yeah.
like we discussed earlier, was probably very sound logic.
Yeah, that is somewhat of just the hazard of Randovania. Checks that are not bad ideas can sometimes just waste your time at some points.
Alright, workstation.
Looks like a lost Metroid.
Nothing? Alright, then plasma processing.
Yep, looks like Baja's heading for plasma processing. Could see a vanilla plasma, or we could see a phazon suit. That would be cruel.
If I remember correctly, I think there actually is a secret world in plasma processing that runners, if they really wanted to, could try. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that, but out of the bounds doesn't tend to be the most practical thing. With the other vanilla beam chambers, there's a relatively simple exploit you can do to get out by dropping a power bomb, but that does not work for plasma processing, considering it has an ice door on the outside, not a power door.
Okay, will he get the Tony Hawk jump first try? Nope, doesn't attempt it. Fair enough. Tank? Okay. Dang. Usually, if you go through all the trouble to open plasma processing, you would actually really want to see something in it. But most of the time, that's never the case.
Yeah, it could be a rude item at some points. And looks like Baja is going to be heading into the latter part of Mines. Will not be able to fully explore the lower aspect of it without plasma, but we'll be able to get quite a few checks in the upper half.
So, yeah, this is not the best situation runners really want to be in right now. Plasma beam go mode is probably the worst beam to be go mode for because it has the least amount of logic tied to it.
Yeah, plasma can be almost anywhere in game. There's a lot of checks, and plus there's still phazon suit on the table, which has even less logic, although it does have a hint for it if you collect all the artifacts.
But at this point, runners would probably not want to scum a hint for it, considering that like all of the last remaining checks for it are all in this one area.
Baja still has quite a few open checks left, because remember,
that is
Baja
true.
skipped quite a bit in early Chozo.
Yeah, he did not do most of far Chozo. Oh, nice! Actually, skipping that trigger. That's for people at home. That is really hard to pull off. That trigger is huge.
It is.
Okay, so it seems that Baja will be making the play for upper mines, and if he doesn't find it, he's probably gonna make his way to backwards frigate, and then come back down here.
Yeah, I could check out Life Growth. Unfortunately, yeah, if that's the case, if Upper Mines and Life Growth doesn't have it, there's just a lot of options everywhere that could be, and Baja might be searching around for a while for either of the required items.
Birch Deeple B is an artifact. Right?
Yep.
Oh. Okay, that messing up that grapple seemed to be on purpose.
Yeah, seems like it.
Tubamann is also now finally in Fendrana, so he will hopefully find his Ice Beam in labs as well if he decides to push it, although there's still the chance that he will decide to make the hardest play first. Will be unfortunate. Hey. Alright, what's on Philip for today, boys?
Still running shockingly low on missiles, so we'll probably have to spend a significant amount of time just using charge shots to wear down the Phazon Elite. Because the Phazon only has a stupid amount of health.
I mean, it makes sense. At this point, you usually have like plasma beam for Philip.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an endgame enemy, but it takes a while. Especially if you're not using an AI exploit where it gets to hold its arm up to block 75%. Oh,
Oh
that is
my!
our plasma beam!
Philip plasma. Wow, that is. I've never seen that before. That is sure is interesting. Okay,
Honestly, not the worst place plasma could have been, considering our runners were already going through mines to grab artifacts.
so at this point, Baja's probably going to turn around all the way to Fungal Hall Axis and then hope
Looks like
pray for a Phazon suit.
looks like he's still clearing out the rest of the upper mines checks just on the off chance Phazon is there, but I have to imagine he'll be turning around rather quickly.
Yeah, this is a good idea. I agree with this. Fun fact about this room, the wave beam troopers actually won't spawn until you've killed all of the shadow guards.
Really? Oh.
At least there, I think that there was something about that like the trigger extends or something like that. I forget. I've had like multiple times in this room where the wave beam troopers don't spawn until like the instant that I've killed the last shadow pirate.
It's also, the room's internal name is also Mines Shot 'em Up, which is a fun fact. the Prime Room's internal names are very amusing if you ever have the chance to take a look at them. Fun fact, Hull of the Elders is referred to as Chozo Bowling.
That's right, I do remember that one. That's the only one I know.
Yep. I mean, if you're gonna only remember one of the internal names, I'd probably pick that one.
I do know when it comes to internal naming is that the two Ink Smashers in Sank Entrance, their names I believe are Wisp and Catsby, something like that. They are like one of the only enemies to have actual names in Prime 2.
Huh. That is really interesting. I did not know that. I have to imagine there's a internal story about that. One we will likely never know.
Maybe, yeah, perhaps like an in-joke in development.
Almost certainly.
Okay. So, Upper Mines is all done. Baja's going to be heading towards Ventshaft.
Yeah.
And praying to the Lord above that Phazon suit is there.
Yeah. Although Baja has been cutting it decently close on E-tanks this seed. Only 5 total at this point, and only at 3. We will have to be careful to make sure not to run afoul of any of the enemies that run around in mines, because it is a lit game area after all, and things do damage.
Okay,
Oh,
Tubamann is
like
going for Thordis.
Yep, we've got the Thordis play on hand. If that has Phazon suit, that could be absolutely huge, but to be honest, if it doesn't, that might just seal Tubamann's fate, because I otherwise can't imagine him catching up.
Even if Thordis is Phazon suit, Baja still has a chance. It's still routes in not too bad, especially given the artifact that's in transport access.
Yeah, that, and there is the Phazon suit hint, so it's not like he'd be full clearing the rest of the game before Thordis. Baja doing a very nice jump to skip the pirate again.
That is true. The only things that, if Phazon were to be in Fendrana, the only things left would be Thordis and Storage Cave.
Yeah, at this point, it is almost certainly Baja's race to lose.
Chosen Lights Temple as well. That is also a plasma jet that
Yes.
exists in the game.
However,
I have not
it's a
forgotten that.
it's definitely a possibility, but it's also not one that would take a long time, especially if the Phazon suit hit went into play.
If Baja does, and if the Phazon suit ends up being played for and it's in Fendrana, we may see Baja pick up for a nice East. To be honest, I highly doubt it, but one can only hope.
One can only hope.
Oh, it wasn't Flamethrower in Icewind East? Here thinks it's something else.
Oh well.
Oh, okay, so it was a missile.
That means Validator is still on the table.
Okay. Flamethrower Redemption, perhaps? Fungal Hall B or something good? We also have no clue as to where Ice Spreader is either, so...
Yeah, that's true. The beam combos have been pretty scarce this year, aside from supers, which showed up very early. Alright, let's see what's in the rocks.
Come on, Teddy Rockman. Please be good.
Oh, just an E.
E-Tank on the rocks.
Yep. Yeah, that is... Well, I'm sure one of our runners is very happy that they will not be having to fight Thardas. That is another very unfortunate move for Tuba, as he is just very far behind at this point due to a lot of detours that have not played out.
And seems to be going to Farm Egmore.
Yep, looks like it.
Feels bad, man.
Upcoming is the one check in the game where Phazon suit cannot be.
Will he still peek it? Nope, not even considering.
Nope. Can't say I blame him, but there could always be a validator in there.
Personally, I don't think I would do flamethrower or do PMT for a flamethrower. So we'll go Hall B.
Huh. I'm curious to see if Baja will be grabbing a missile recharge station, because he's currently only at 5 missiles out of 70. It looks like he is heading up on an OP fight.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, I would almost definitely go for it, but you never know, he could just be confident with Plasma Beam strats.
Yeah, this missile station is kind of rude to get to.
Yeah, and yeah, it does look like Baja is taking the missile refill. Yeah, one of only 3 missile refill stations in the entire game, with one of them being an impact crater. Missile recharge stations are just shockingly rare in Prime 1. There's Hope of the Elders, this one, and then the one in Impact Crater.
But, you know, honestly, shoutouts to remembering that that's there. If I was in this situation, I still would have forgotten, despite probably complaining about having no missiles the whole time.
Yeah, they're one of those things that You don't you use them so rarely that you can just forget it's a resource you have access to.
Okay. Hmm.
Also, still only at 2 E-tanks right now. We'll want to make sure that he does not take any risk with the last few pirates, especially if he does not grab the save station health refill.
He most likely will.
And
Hey,
that is Ice Spreader.
that's what we want to see.
Yep, that is very nice. Ice Spreader is probably the second best beam combo in the game. After Flamethrower, of course.
Of course. Okay, Tubamann is now making the last sprint, so
Yeah.
he will happen upon high speed soon.
Yes. We are about to head into an OP fight. Pirates overpowered, please nerf.
Omega Paul. That's not a good place for Trooper Skip. That power bomb's too late. That was just a bad place. He's got wave pirates. Oh,
Yep.
not a great start. Typically, when fighting OP, you want just like anything besides wave pirates.
Yeah, wave pirates are almost definitely the slowest pirate type to get rid of. Because with power pirates, you can just do super missiles, ice pirates, you can freeze them and then shatter them, and then plasma beam just does a ton of damage, so it kills them faster than usual. But, unfortunately, Baja missing the 1 cycle, which is going to cost him some time.
I mean, honestly, that's understandable. That was a really bad placement to attempt Trooper Skip. You would have to just be sitting in phase on, taking damage. So,
I mean, you can just jump in and out of the Phazon to get it to create the Phazon damage to relatively minimal levels. It's not that bad.
this is true.
Oh, Baja is running low on health. This could be dangerous.
Okay, well, he's got plasma pirates this time. This should be infinitely better.
Yeah, that should be easier, but still, if I were Baja, I would be being very careful right now. Fortunately, it looks like OP is only 1 super missile away from death, and let's really hope he lands that. There we go.
Vanilla phase-on suit?
It's a possibility. Never mind.
Wave Buster.
Wave Buster. Not even the Validator either.
I think that's funnier even.
Oh, okay. Let's see what PCA has.
PCA has flamethrower. That will be
that
gold.
would be a riot.
Nope.
Ah.
Not today, folks.
Yeah.
So now Baja's in a kind of a predicament. Where does he go from here?
If I were Baja, I would have just head back through the entrance and then just warp to start to grab the Phazon suit hint, but at this point, there's quite a few checks in a few different areas where Phazon suit could be.
Huh. That's right. He might just go to transport access from here. It's not.
Oh yeah,
that
that is
far.
true. He does need to grab transport access artifact, which is definitely a good thing to do.
Yeah, those rooms can be kind of confusing. You got Transport Access in Fendrana, Transport Access North in Chozo. Then you got Transport Tunnel B in Talon, and then Transport Tunnel A, which is in Magna.
Don't forget the wonderfully unique names of Storage Cave and Storage Cavern.
Storage Cave, Storage Cavern, Security Cave. Yeah. Storage Depot A, Storage Depot B. Although
Prime 2 gets even worse at that with like the
Yeah.
various in caches and storage caches.
Yeah, Prime 2, I would definitely agree, is worse in that regard.
It's almost like the developers never designed these names to be used as sole references for where you find the item names. Oh, finally think of that.
Who would have thought?
At minimum, we are lucky that they did actually give unique room names to every single room in the game, which...
Yeah, that is... Most people take that for granted. That is, like, Prime is, like, one of the only few randomizers that actually has, like, specific room name checks for every single check in the game.
Yep.
'Cause then you got, like, Zooter, who's, like, you know, Lost Woods, Bomb Grotto before, you know, Grove, which is a mouthful.
Or even just Dread, which has to do, like, large central room, west of central room, north of central room.
The only, like, concise name in Dread is the David Jaffe room.
Yep. Which is the one everyone understands.
Okay. Seems that both runners are actually going to high five here in Farfen.
Yep.
Honestly, Storage Cave into Thardus into Choso Ice Temple, and then at that point taking the save board for the hint. That's probably what I would do.
First, just grab the artifact and then go for the hints.
What's his last artifact?
Storage Cave. The one right up here.
Oh, Storage Cave is an artifact. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Vanilla. French vanilla. That's like one of the only artifacts that I actually don't remember the name of.
Pretty sure that is one, because it's the one hidden behind the powerbomb wall that's not scannable that I see a lot of people complain about.
I don't remember what artifact that is normally, though.
Yeah.
I think that's... Yeah, honestly, that's the one I don't remember. I, like, remember, like, the vanilla ones for almost every other one.
Mostly, I just remember Warrior because it's funny that the artifact of Warrior is the smallest one in game. That and Newborn. Oh, yep, we got both of our runners doing a warp to start at pretty much the same time. Funny.
No ship dash from Baja, Sag.
Yeah. Does look
Nice.
like Baja is going for the Phazon suit, and
I mean, honestly, yeah, this is pretty good play. I mean, it couldn't... At this point, it can't be in mines because we full cleared it.
yeah, I think Baja has pretty much eliminated mine, but aside from that, there's just a variety of checks all over, because remember, Baja still hasn't cleared Zoid.
That is true, yeah. But Tubamann seems to be taking the frigate play this time. Okay.
Oh boy.
Or the crash site thing first. Agreeable. By Spirit? Too early. Okay. Yeah, Plasma Beam was on Philip the Phazon Elite. You love to see it.
At the convenient place for it, considering our runners were heading in that area anyway for the artifacts, but...
Power Beam smile. Everyone you know the drill. Damn smiley face in chat.
That spacing for Ridley was not great.
Nice snipe though.
Yep, very nice snipe.
And one more. Nice.
Very clean Ridley fight from Blaha, aside from that, just instance where he got pinned against the wall.
Okay. Tubamann is skipping for the and probably attempting bar skip, maybe? Or it's going to do life grip stuff first.
Yeah, maybe.
This, I don't know if this can be, if Tubamann finds Phazon before Baja. I don't know if that will turn it around, honestly. There's so many plasma locked artifacts that
Yeah, I don't
Baja's
think
already
so.
gotten.
At this point, I think it is Baja's race to lose, just because they're... I mean, Tuba only has 2 artifacts, still hasn't found Plasma. There's just too much left in the seed, and Baja's gonna get a pretty big hint as to where Phazon's suit is in a moment anyway. Tuba has just gone for too many big hints. It's in Talon Overworld.
Is it going to be in Frigate,
It
perhaps?
very well might be in Frigate.
That would just be poetic justice if it was actually in Frigate.
That would be funny. I don't believe either of our runners ever checked Root Cave.
No, actually. No, we never went back there. We went straight to Magmore. We just never
Or
went
Armor
back.
Chamber.
Yeah.
Tubamann just learning why Life Grove Tunnel is the worst room in the game. That we're being reminded.
We love geometry.
Simple geometry, except it's not simple. It's
No,
weirdly complicated.
I've never seen that before. He got stuck at the top. That was a scam. And
Both of our
Baja
runners
falling
really-
down through cave.
Oh boy, this is...
Just Talon
Neither-
things.
Neither of our runners are having fun right now. Oh!
Oh!
There is the Phazon suit!
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
That. If Tubamann plays for Upper Mines as soon as he finishes Life Grove and immediately beelines Plasma Artifacts, he might have a shot.
True, that is an option. Especially if Baja gets tempted to go through Frigate.
He probably.
Oh, and there is our flamethrower in Life Grove Tunnel.
Validated.
Yep. Life Grove just trolling all of us.
Yeah, next Prime tournament, whoever finds Flamethrower first automatically wins the tournament.
Maybe we could have that be like one of the things in like one of the later rounds. Just like Armory Hunt, maybe? Whoever finds Flamethrower first.
Yeah, if we do end up doing the same type of preset structure next Prime tournament, and this should definitely be a contender. Just find Flamethrower first.
Validate yourself.
Tubamann is attempting bar skip.
Yeah. Bar skip, everyone's favorite trick.
If you think about it, it's kind of like air underwater in a sense. You either get it first try or you just never get it.
Baja looks like he is going to attempt to go to the back of Talon first instead of going through a regular frigate climb, which, as we know, is almost definitely the right move considering where Phazon's suit is.
Oh, I looked away. Is Baja going through Overgrown Cavern?
Yeah, he's heading through Overgrown Cavern, and then I imagine just taking the detour through the 2 Chozo elevators that just point to the same spot in Chozo Ruins.
Honestly, yeah, that actually is quite faster, doing Left Grove first and then doing Frigate backwards.
Yeah, backwards Frigate is almost always faster than doing it in the intended order, just because you have less, you don't need to worry about the power conduits and the cutscenes.
Well, this does mean that Baja will also have to be doing bar skip.
Yep. No. Oh, never mind. Life. Because remember, life growth tunnel's on the top half. He doesn't need to get
Oh
to
yeah.
the bottom
So
half.
yeah, he could just take the save station at reflecting pool, and then save up there.
Tubamann unfortunately getting bullied by bar skip.
He's too far away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be closer than that. Yeah, like right there. Oh, almost.
Yeah.
That looked good.
Unfortunately, one of the many annoying things about bar skip is that the ground that you're doing it on is not flat, so you can't just get in a good spot once and then keep doing attempts until you get. You have to precisely position yourself. Ooh, man, unfortunately, it looks like Tubamann is giving up the bar skip.
Yeah, that might be the nail in the coffin, folks.
Yeah. Well, very nice bomb jump from Baja to grab his Phazon suit.
Here we go. Although he's not going to get flamethrower, no.
That is true. He will likely not be valid. I know we're gonna have to break it to Baja after this. He turned away just before the validator. That's like capital crime.
I hereby punishing you by having 7 more ice beams in labs.
I sentence you to bombs on Thardus.
Okay, so thankfully Baja didn't have to scum the hint, so he will not have to fight Ridley again. He can head straight for Exo.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Tuba is heading into Chozo instead of into Mines as a result of just being unable to pull off the bar skip, which pretty much seals his fate at this point, I think.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this has just been a kind of a bad seed to route. Most players, at least I don't like coming into Mines through PPC, because that usually means I have to make a decision as to what I have to do first.
Decision's the worst enemy of any rando player, because some of them could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
overall, a pretty clean seed on Baja's end, but unfortunately, routing has not been kind to Tubamann.
Yeah, this was pretty much just like a master route. There wasn't really any hiccups in it, besides maybe just holding off Farfen until having Plasma.
Yeah,
Mines first, but at that point,
yeah, I mean, there wasn't. He was going to have to go back to Farfen with Plasma later anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was the best move to just beeline it for Phazon suit, or artifact hints and Phazon suit hints immediately after grabbing Plasma, but Baja's routing definitely seems to have worked out better. He definitely seemed to read the seed better.
Okay. Nice slope jump.
Yep.
Endables, don't fall off. Nice.
Let's see, will Jack and Jill come up to defend their hill?
Usually, if you get the slope jump and the standables first try, they aren't a problem. Oh, don't boost off the. Nope. Oh, failed attempt at Exos to get by Ha. by
Darn. Exo skip.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, how well does Baja do final boss? So, I guess a quick rundown as how Exo works. As you can see, Exo is currently colored purple. That means he's only vulnerable to Wave Beam. That applies for all the other beams and colors. Each subchamber, like each floor that you fight him on, he has deterministic colors that he will be. So subchamber 2, which is where we're in right now, he'll only be Wave and Power, and then next subchamber here, he'll add an Ice Beam into the rotation, and then next subchamber, I'll add Plasma. So basically, it's complete RNG as to what phase, like what order the phases will be in. what runners want to see is usually a power, either like power beam or ice beam first in like the early subchambers. Basically, you want a powerful, like a powerful beam to go first, and then have like wave after it. Because as you can see Baja doing there, as Exo turned around, he hit a shot on the Exo's face. Fun fact, that actually does damage to not the phase that's currently on, but the next phase.
Yep.
So like that super right there, this will only take like one ice beam shot. Maybe, yeah, right there.
Yep. Yeah, and some of the beam combos are strong enough that you can just flat out skip the next phase entirely. Like Ice Spreader will flat out one-shot a phase. Because, which might be a bit confusing if you've ever taken over the damage jump of this game, because Ice Spreader does actually a bit less damage than Super Missile. However, Ice Spreader does actually deal bonus damage to Exo, along with Ice Beam as well, just because, shockingly, Metroid Prime is a Metroid. And it actually is coded to take bonus damage from Ice Beam.
Actually, I didn't know that part.
Yes. That is why Ice Beam is as good as it is in this fight. And why in later phases most high-level runners will hope for Wave or Ice. Or not Wave or Ice, Plasma or Ice.
Is that Ice Spider Shot?
Yep.
Nice.
Ice Spreader also has the benefit of being homing, which makes it exceptionally easy to hit.
So yeah, bottom line, we want to skip Wave Beam phases because Wave Beam has no advantage to it. Power Beam has, you know, super missiles. Ice Beam has Ice Spreader and bonus damage. Plasma Beam is just a strong beam. Wave has no benefits whatsoever. The only thing that it has is homing, but that is negligible.
Yeah, especially with higher level runners, as they can get Exo into an AI loop where it just continually attempts to use a melee attack and line itself up for an easy headshot.
Now, what we said earlier is that Exo will only have like one beam phase per subchamber. This all changes in subchamber 4. Exo can do anything it wants to at any time. It can change phases. It can do a charge dash. It can even increase its like internal animation speed, which
can get very silly.
Yeah, we don't like see that. Typically, we just at this point we just pray that we have like plasma phases all the time. There's not really much you can do besides just doing the melee manip that Robo was talking about.
Yep. Exo's subchamber 4 in the Exo fight is pretty big. Oh, that's a shiny missile on Tuba's end.
Oh.
In Hydro Access Tunnel. Very nice. Along with Flamethrower, Tubamann is definitely the more valid of our runners today. Unfortunately, that is not what our tournament criteria check.
Okay, well, I guess that makes the seed hash make sense.
Yeah, that is true.
For people who just are tuning in, I believe it was Gelzap? Gelzap Frigate?
Like Gelzap Frigate Temple or something.
Temple, yeah, Frigate Temple. So we were thinking that progression was going to be in there, but no, a shiny missile will do.
Yes. Also, for those who do not know, shiny missiles are a feature of Randovania. It's a reference to the Pokemon games with shiny Pokemon, but with the same odds, which I believe is 1 in every 4,896, there's a chance for a missile to become shiny. Basically just mean it's recolored blue, and its name is now a shiny missile. There are no other benefits, it's just neat.
So we all pog when we see one.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to find. Baja, if you're new to the game, Baja's actions right now in the tournament might seem a bit odd, between just standing still on the opening of the Essence fight and just staggering his shots repeatedly with the Phazon pool, but there are actually a lot of reasons to this. For starters, standing still is an excellent way to manipulate Phazon's Metroid Prime Essence's AI, so that it doesn't do that and go over the corpse because of the exoskeleton, because that means that it skips a pool and just moves on to the next phase, which, as you imagine, as aficionados of going fast, we rather don't like it when the boss is don't do the thing that lets us go fast. But aside from that, pacing out your shots actually makes it so. How the essence fight works is that each phase in the visor has an associated number of actions, and by damaging essence with the phase on beam and putting it into hits on the animation, it ends the current action and then puts it onto the next action. So basically, by staggering your shots repeatedly, you can just repeatedly burn through all of Essence's action within the current visor and make it so you can effectively just chain pulls into each other indefinitely if you do it correctly, which speeds up a fight drastically that is normally very slow.
Although, unfortunately, we did see Baja get what we like to call pool skipped.
Yeah.
In this room, there is a giant trigger that is like surrounded by the exoskeleton. Since the geometry around there is not very smooth, you have basically like the developers put a trigger so that Essence won't lay a pool there, so you can like actually be in the pool. Like,
and
it skips
it
a
looks
whole
like
phase.
that is time.
GG's. That is race time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 34 seconds.
Looks like Tubamann has forfeited from the race.
Oh, wait, no, that's when the race finished. Baja had an actual 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 16 seconds. There we go. A little discrepancy there, but yeah. All right, so hopefully we will see Baja and Tubamann here soon.
Yep.
And there is Baja. GG's.
Hello, GG's.
GG to you.
That was actually quite not the bad seed. The only hiccup was having Ice Beam in labs, but at that point...
Yeah, but you get the Research Lab Aether artifact that kind of sends you there. Like, I was going to be happy even if Ice wasn't there. Like, you get at least an artifact, so... Yeah, not too bad. Didn't get punished for a decent number of things that I skipped.
Yeah, there was pretty much no punishment at all on your end. Unfortunately, we can't say the same for Tubamann.
That's unfortunate.
He made both the Zoid Farchozo play as well as the Flogger play.
And the Thardus play.
And he did Thardus before labs, which was...
Yeah. Unfortunately, the routing really did not work out for Tubamann. This was a rather straightforward seed, in all honesty, and the routing did not work out. Looks like Tuba will not be joining us for post-commentary. But as far as chat goes, Tubamann says hi.
Yeah, GG's Tuba.
Although, we have to shout out Tubamann for not only finding Flamethrower and validating the seed, but he also found a shiny missile, which was in Hydroaxis Tunnel.
Nice.
And we will also have to shame you, Baja. The validator was in Life Grove. You just deliberately walked up to, you tempted Flamethrower, and then you denied it validation. How could you?
Nope, I had to defeat final bosses, including Life Grove Tunnel itself.
Yep.
Really true, yeah. We were thinking that Tubamann would be able to come back based on finding Phazon Suit. He found it, like, right before you did. He decided to check Life Grove.
Like, right before you checked the hints, so that was actually our first sign of where Phazon Suit was.
Yeah, you save warped at the exact same time and both went in different directions.
Yep. Interesting. I was from like the moment, I don't even remember where like Grapple and X-Ray turned up, but from like the moment I got those, I'm like, ooh, I sure have isolated like Root Cave Arbor Chamber. I was so certain that was going to be Phazon Suit when I got the Talon hint.
Yeah. Interestingly, both of you didn't check Root Cave or Arbor Chamber until very late. I don't think Tubamann even checked it at all.
Yeah,
but
it was kind of awkward to get back to.
Yeah, the seed was very enticing heading to Magmore early as soon as you got various suit.
Yeah, if I have Varian bombs, I'm almost never doing like Zoid and Energy Core. Just that's kind of slow, and the seed's kind of pushing you towards Magmore anyways.
Yeah, that's kind of what got Tubamann. He ended up staying in Chozo for a lot longer.
I'm so annoyed I couldn't get that roll in. That roll in strat for bombs was actually like pretty huge this seed. Getting those early would have meant I didn't need to isolate like gallery tunnel. Could have routed in,
Yeah,
or could have gotten the spider immediately and then continued on to Dynamo rather than having to backtrack. Would have been sick actually.
yeah, that would have been really cool. I wouldn't say it's the hardest trick in the world, but it has a lot of nuance to it.
Yeah,
So-
that setup, like starting on the branch, definitely makes it easier, but it is not free, as I demonstrated.
Yeah,
What else? Shoutouts to forgetting which visor is which twice during the OP fight and failing to get a one cycle as a result.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a rough OP.
Yeah.
It was mainly due to the not having a good spot for OP to do trooper skip. Just having him, you would have to be right in the phase-on, and you were at low health at that point. So
Yeah, I don't really know how to do trooper skip properly. I just try, and sometimes I luck into it.
the way that you do it is that you have to, when OP is stunned and like on the ground, you lay the power bomb as soon as he lifts up his head to like call the troopers. As soon as like his head like starts to like lift up, then you lay the power bomb and get away
Okay.
from him. Yeah, I am apprehensive to say that's forgiving, but usually that's like a very good indicator as to when to lay it. You kind of want to aim a little bit before that. You kind of have to predict it when he's lifting his head up, but yeah, it's fairly consistent. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this seed?
No, not too much. Messed up my essence execution there. I think I wasn't giving it quite enough time, and I think I missed an attack cancel or two. And then, of course, it goes in exactly the wrong direction on its last movement.
Yeah, that was very
Great.
unfortunate.
Like, that's my own fault, but it's still, it didn't have to punish me that hard.
Yeah. That EXO though was actually not that bad.
Yeah,
to be honest. Especially having Ice Spreader is very underrated, and it helps immensely.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I need to practice my EXO very much
I don't know how to like dodge him and shoot him with the melee minute though, so I just have to fight it.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
I've had enough practice at fighting him the wrong way that I'm okay. Even though the right way, I'm sure, is more consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. With that, I think that's pretty much all we got. We have one more race today versus our very own Robo Scout.
Yep.
Versus.
No idea which. I definitely won't be here.
Yeah. Versus Audraxis, which is happening 3 hours from now on the same SpeedGaming.
Or well, 3 hours from the start of this race. It's around an
Or,
hour and
yeah,
a half
that's
from
true.
right
So-
now.
About 2 hours then.
So Robo and I will be trading places. I'll be commentating that race.
Mhm.
Yep. Look forward to talking to you again in around 3 hours in the commentary booth.
But yeah, that.
Oh no, it could be longer if the seed is not merciful.
True. I think I gemmed that one, so it'll be. Mine have been pretty good. I think the last couple of days have been my seeds, and I think they've generally been okay, aside from this one, of course.
Yeah, that's been quite a lot of potential sub-hour seeds recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if this one really could have been. This was routed pretty well, but maybe
the phase on or the plasma cleanup kind of makes it hard
Yeah.
to sub-hour. I was shocked that Phazon wasn't in lower mines. Like, it made sense just routing wise to go all the way through OP, but I was like kind of surprised that Phazon didn't show up along the way when Plasma was the last beam. That's usually my rule of thumb. Is if Plasma last, it's usually down there.
Well, Rando is going to Rando.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That is why we play the game.
We love Metroid Prime.
It's no echoes, but it'll have to do.
You can put the missile launcher down, Dark Zero.
But no, thank you both for commentating. Thanks, Pierre and Jeff, for tracking.
Yeah, shout outs to our trackers. They did a really good job today.
Yep, thank you too.
Make sure to follow RoboScout and me, and as well as our runners.
Follow the runners. Don't follow me. I pretty much only stream for tournaments and weeklies.
Yeah, but nonetheless, show them some love. And with that, I think we're all done here. Yep. Make sure to check out the race that's happening in about 2 hours. And yeah. GG's.
See you next time.
See you all next time.
Next mission. Bye bye.